Oh, morning all guys and girls. Just woke up. Oh, I've got an idea for a song. I just thought I'd go through the process with you. Literally just chuck the camera on, I'm going to get everything set up and then I'm going to record the song. Jack will probably know this as well. I get so carried away with songs and I EQ it and compress it on there, and there's like 50, 60 instrument tracks and stuff. Well, this time around I'm going to do backing guitar. I'm going to do a guitar down the centre. I might put a little bit of bass. And also another thing, as well as a guitarist, you're always worried about what you're playing. If it's good enough, you always judge yourself. I'm going to step outside that box as well, and I'm going to come up with a really simple melody for the song. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about how it sounds or anything. It's terrible. Perfection, like the perfectionist comes out in me. I always wonder if I'm good enough. Talk about insecurities, musical insecurities here, what's going on? But yeah, that's kind of what happens all the time. You always judge yourself a little bit, but I'm going to step outside that box as well. So first thing to do is set up a Pro Tools session, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to turn my alarm off, because I've woke up early because I'm super excited about this song. I'm just learning along the way, having a laugh with it and just enjoying it. Lovely job. Next step is sorting out my little booth. Now I've padded out my clothes cupboard here, boys. And what I'm hoping is that I put the condenser in here. My guitar's playing, I've got all of my clothes bundled up on the sides here. I've got soundproofing at the back. I've got some more stuff, you know, I could wrap that around if I wanted. And I just feel as though the sound goes in, but it doesn't reflect back out off windows, maybe off other hard surfaces, and I'm not getting extra reverb. I will add that later, so I'm hoping that I'm getting a really clean sound. And then through that I've got a Behringer mixer, but it's got some slight compression on the way in. That always helps. I didn't realise how much of a game changer compression actually is, because as I said before, I just play my guitar. I'm not a pedal guy. The good thing about that as well is when I'm getting levels, I don't have to keep going over to the computer, because the computer's like 2 meters away from me. So I can do my levels from here and I can get some compression on the way in. Let's get recording. In fact, what I have to do is I have to get my phone and gotta remember what I played. I've got a backing piece, so I've got to practice that for a little bit first. Got the guitar ready to go. I've got the window shut, which is always one that you got to check for when cars going past. There we go guys, so that is the main backing done. I just did it in a few sections. I could have pulled it off at a wanna. Is this cheaty? Is it cheaty to chuck the backing together? I've done 4 takes there, but I have got some complex bits and I've only played them through a few times. I want to make sure they're all okay. There was a lot of bum notes in there, but do you know what? We haven't got all day today. I'm just cleaning it up now. Okay, so there was the first change from these clips to this clip. And what I did is on this take, I did go into that first note a little bit, so there's a little bit of room to play with. There's not gonna, there hopefully shouldn't be a crazy clip. So you got to think about that as well. I put a little note there where it rang out, and then I went into that note just in case. But then I was like, I don't want to keep going because I'm a little bit scared, because I don't want to cock it up. No clip. It's probably quite boring, so I might actually cut the majority of this. Interesting thing is as well, is it looks as though I was slightly out of sync. See where I've moved forward and backwards when I've gone right, hit record, and then I've come forward a bit. This is why I don't want to do it in too many takes, because then I'm not bang on where I was recording where I started off, so I've got a different sound altogether. So I don't really like to do too many attempts at it and move back and forth too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group all of that now. There we go. So my backing is done. Pan left, right, This is detuned, drop D and then a C in the bass. So this is detuned, so what I'm planning on doing now is going to be interesting. I'm going to try to harmonise it. We're going to tune the guitar back up to E. I'm going to find out what chords I'm actually playing because I don't know, and then I'm going to put that on top left and right. I have done the second guitar that I've added to it, so now it's time for Billy Bass. Another friend actually sold this one to me, nice and cheap. Can you see the theme here? Everything I've got I bought off friends and on the cheap, and they really sorted me out, because that's the thing, that I use a bass all the time in all of my recordings, but back way when, how can you justify it, you know, because I'm not a bass player. so yeah, 50 quid jobby. So I'm just going to go for it. I've got my notes here. This is going to be quite boring because I'm just using single notes. I've got an extra B string, so my E actually starts there, so that's normal bass. I've got a fifth lower one to give, but it means that I've got a C note, which this key is in, which is like one of the lowest notes you can play. But because this is just going to be in the background and we just want those super low notes ringing out, I'm just going to plug it straight in. Let's go. To an A, to a G, to a low D, to an F, to a G sharp, and then back. I missed a note there. Maybe if I wasn't waffling I would have got it. Here we go, so. Got in. Right, there was one note in there that I bummed. Might not matter. Quite like it. I quite like it. It's meant to change, but it doesn't. It's meant to change to a G. I'm keeping it. Now I've just got to write the melody on top. I'll have a little playthrough with you guys. Normally I would obsess about the melody and every note, and I try getting some really fancy nice stuff. I'm not going to do that. Try to get past this whole perfection thing. So I am going to record from here. I'm not going to use the booth, and it means that I can just tap in, and whenever I find something nice, it's going in. It is going in. Just to let all you guys know, these are what the chords look like. So I've got a lot of crazy chords in there. Let's try and come up with the melody. Don't know where I'm going. I like that. Okay. Gotta use it. I'm using Something like that. Oh, I should have recorded that down because I would have had all the bloody ideas there. Ah, right, so that is what I'm going to be working on now. Lovely job. So guys, I've managed to record most of the melody. Not quite happy with it. I've spent far too long on it already. So we are now going to start dealing with our guitars. So our first guitars that we recorded. I've soloed one and I've panned it centre, and I'm going to EQ that. I'm going to take away some EQ that I don't like, some certain things. So I'm going to take away a lot of the bass drone. Take away the high. I'm going to put my headphones on so I can hear it. Not too much actually, just a little bit. All I've done is I've done a high pass, a low pass. I've taken out some of the middle, a tiny bit of the middle. And I'm going to do that the same for the other one. And I will pan them left and right, 80. And the reason that I took a little bit out of the mids is because that's where my solo guitar sits. So I don't want that soaking up a load of noise. I've also just added another track there. All my tracks that have got compression or reverb, I always do them in blue. Set up a bus to this one. Stereo 1 and 2, so these will both go to 1 and 2. And the reason for that is I can control them on one fader, which is going to help me because I can control them, and then I'll do the same for the rest and I can get the level. And also it means that I can add some more light compression on top. Just going super quick here guys. So another thing that I will do is I will add another track on top of that. I will send that into the reverb because I'm going to set up a reverb which will be in blue as well. So we shall call this verb and we'll call this compression. We're going to want it very dreamy. So there we go guys, I've added, so yellow was the first thing we recorded, which was the guitars. Let's solo them, see what sound I got. Try and do a loop, loop-de-loop. So I got a nice bit of echo on them. I've sent these through the compression, and then it's also been sent to this reverb as well. So they're both on the same verb. Pan slightly away from each other, 20% away, if you want them both to stand out. Did some, took away some EQ so it wouldn't get in the way. So that's those together. The bass, we'll add the bass in. So that just gives it, I'm not really playing anything on the bass, I'm just those drone notes. Just to tell you what key it's in. Just to beef the track up a bit. I've also got compression on the bass and I'm sending that to the reverb as well. So first things first, save. Lovely job. So there you go guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. I'm still trying to figure out these videos. I find it really difficult to get some flow going and be creative when I'm also trying to explain myself to you guys. But I want to do it because I don't really know what I'm doing too much on any of this, so it's a learning curve for me as well. I'm just hoping that you're along for the ride. That was a song that popped up 2 days ago. I had it in my head all last night on the old night shift and I was thinking about it and I was like, I know exactly what I've got to do, and I've come in and it's done. So I will edit the video together. I will pop a little song up first so you can hear it, and then I'll do a making of the same as I did last time around. Lovely job. I'm going to go have a nice cup of tea. And I'll see you next time, boys and girls. Lovely. Cheers.